World War II began on September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, triggering global conflict. Germany, Italy, and Japan formed the Axis powers who fought against the Allied forces. The Allied powers were the US, the UK, the USSR, and France, and they fought against the Axis powers and eventually defeated them. On December 7, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, bringing the US into World War II. 6 million Jews and millions of others were murdered by the Nazis during the Holocaust from 1941 to 1945.
I'm Lieutenant Senior Grade Jack H. Taylor, U.S. Navy, Hollywood, California. Believe it or not, it's the first time I've ever been in the movies. I've been working overseas in occupied countries in the Balkans for 18 months. In October 44, I was the first Allied officer to drop into Austria. I was captured December 1st by the Gestapo, severely beaten, even though I was in uniform, severely beaten and considered as a non-prisoner of war. I was taken to Vienna prison, where I was held for 4 months. When the Russians neared Vienna, I was taken to this Mauthausen concentration lager, an extermination camp, the worst in Germany, where we have been starving and beaten and killed. Fortunately, my turn hadn't come. 2 American officers at least have been executed here. Here is the insignia of one, a U.S. naval officer, and here is his dog tag. Here is the Army officer, executed by gas in this locker. How many ways did he execute him? 5 or 6 ways, by gas, by shooting, by beating, that is, beating with clubs, by exposure, that is, standing out in the snow naked for 48 hours and having cold water thrown on them in the middle of winter, starvation, dogs, and pushing over a 100-foot cliff. This is all true, has been seen, and is now being recorded. Where'd you get that uniform you have on? This uniform, I came here in uniform, but it was taken away from me, and this was substituted with my number in USA. I have been condemned to death as another American also in this camp. Fortunately, the 11th Armored Division has come through and saved us some time.
From 1942 to 1945, over 120,000 Japanese Americans were forced into internment camps due to fears of espionage. Japanese Americans in Hawaii, where Pearl Harbor was bombed, weren't interned during World War II because they made up a large part of the population of Hawaii, and the economy would have collapsed without their labor.
Our West Coast became a potential combat zone. Living in that zone were more than 100,000 persons of Japanese ancestry, 2/3 of them American citizens, 1/3 aliens. We knew that some among them were potentially dangerous. Most were loyal. But no one knew what would happen among this concentrated population if Japanese forces should try to invade our shores. Military authorities therefore determined that all of them, citizens and aliens alike, would have to move. This picture tells how the mass migration was accomplished. Neither the Army nor the War Relocation Authority relished the idea of taking men, women, and children from their homes, their shops, and their farms. So the military and civilian agencies alike determined to do the job as a democracy should, with real consideration for the people involved.
Hello? Was I the only one listening? I mean, I thought it reeked.
On June 6, 1944, the Allies launched D-Day, a massive invasion of Nazi-occupied France. On May 8, 1945, 3 high-ranking German military officials, 1 British Royal Air Force officer, and 1 Marshal of the Soviet Union signed the surrender document, while Allied leaders and generals acted as witnesses. In August 1945, the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima on August 6th and Nagasaki on August 9th, leading to Japan's surrender on September 2nd, 1945. The last of the 3 Axis powers had finally surrendered, with Italy surrendering on September 8th, 1943, Germany on May 7th, 1945, and Japan on September 2nd, 1945. World War II was now officially over. World War II led to major global changes with the creation of the United Nations on October 24, 1945, and the start of the Cold War.